Have you ever asked yourself a question so deep that after asking it, you just sat there like, why did I even think of that? Like, why do mosquitoes exist? Or, why do we forget why we entered a room? But today, I want to ask you a much bigger question. What is man that God is mindful of him? And here's the twist. The same Bible that asks, what is man, also records a man crying out, my God, why have you forsaken me? Are these two questions connected? Are they about humanity in general, or about one specific man? Stay with me, because the answer may change how you see the entire Bible. Let's go back to the beginning. Genesis 1 verse 26. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Pause and think. Out of everything God created, stars, galaxies, oceans, animals, only man was made in God's image. Question for you. Why not angels? Why not the heavens? Why man? Then Genesis 2 tells us something even more shocking. Genesis 2 verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So man is dust from the ground plus breath from God. Think about this. Why would an eternal God breathe into dust? Why would God stoop so low to raise something so fragile? Already, the Bible is asking silently, what is man that God would do this? Then comes Genesis 3. Man disobeys God. Sin enters. Death follows. If you were God, what would you do? Honest question. Would you still care? Would you still be mindful? Or would you wipe the slate clean? Yet, even after the fall, God keeps speaking. God keeps promising. God keeps pursuing. Genesis 3 verse 15. The seed of the woman shall bruise the serpent's head. Right there, in judgment, God hints at a man who is coming. So again we ask, what is man that God would plan redemption instead of destruction? Fast forward to the Psalms. David looks at the night sky, stars, moon, vast heavens. Psalm 8 verses 3 to 4. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? Now pause. David is not asking because man is impressive. He's asking because man seems insignificant. Think about it. Tiny earth, smaller humans, massive universe. Yet God is mindful. God visits. God cares. But here's the key question. Was David only talking about humanity in general? Or was the spirit of prophecy pointing him to someone greater? Notice the phrase, the Son of Man. That phrase shows up again and again and again. Jesus later calls himself the Son of Man. So ask yourself, why that title? Why not King of Glory every time? Why Son of Man? Because Psalm 8 continues. Psalm 8 verses 5 to 6. You made him a little lower than the angels. You crowned him with glory and honor. You put all things under his feet. Question, has humanity ever ruled all things? Or is this pointing to one man who would? The New Testament answers this directly. Hebrews 2 verses 8 to 9. But we see Jesus. The writer says, Psalm 8 is about Jesus. So what is man? Was ultimately a prophetic question about Christ. Now we move to the cross. Matthew 27 verse 46. My God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus is quoting Psalm 22 verse 1. David spoke it centuries earlier, but Jesus fulfilled it. Now pause and think deeply. Did the Father stop loving the Son? Did God abandon Jesus permanently? No, this was not confusion. This was prophecy being completed. Jesus, the true Son of Man, was experiencing what fallen man deserved. He stood where Adam fell, where humanity failed, where sin separated man from God. So ask yourself, who was truly forsaken? Jesus, so that we would never be. Now, connect the two questions. 1. What is man that you are mindful of him? 2. Why have you forsaken me? The answer is the same. God was mindful of man because of Jesus. Jesus was forsaken for the sake of man. David spoke by the spirit of prophecy. The words sounded human, but they were divine messages. So let me leave you with questions, not answers. If God would become man for you, what does that say about your worth? If Jesus was forsaken so you could be accepted, why live as if God doesn't care? And if the Bible was pointing to Jesus from Genesis, how carefully should we read it? Because now, when you hear, "What is man?"